Yo, 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 it's your boy Big Bob Opinion back this morning with a dope talk part four. And the subject matter is living in your purpose. Start living in your purpose. Hopefully, this morning live motivate somebody, help somebody, move forward, move on, start to live in their purpose. This morning live is for motivational purposes only. So if you're not ready to be motivated, if you're not ready to be moved, if you're not ready to take control of your life, then this may not be the live for you. Good morning to everybody. Hope everyone had a great weekend. We're gonna start this week off on a positive note. Let's get started.
Your gift is very simple to know. You don't have to go anywhere to discover it. It's not in the water. It's not on a mountaintop. It ain't hid under a rock. Now, this is how you know you're not living in your gift. If when the alarm clock goes off in the morning and you ain't happy about it, you ain't doing what you want to do. If your job makes you sick to go to, if you're unhappy with waking up to go to where you got to go, it's because you ain't living in your gift. What burns in your heart is important for you to pay attention to because it never goes away. That's why people wake up in a rut. See, you hate waking up because you're waking up and you don't know the reason. You're waking up and you don't have no design in mind. Once you live in your purpose, when you discover your gift, you can't wait to wake up. Please understand, pay very close attention to the thing that makes you happy. All of you are gifted at something. The problem is you keep wanting your gift to be what somebody else's gift is. Identify your own gift because you already have it. Here's the way you identify your gift. Your gift is the thing that you do the absolute best with the least amount of effort. If you fry chicken better than everybody you know, you ought to be somewhere frying chicken. People make millions of dollars frying chicken. Popeyes, Kentucky Fried Chicken, El Pollo Loco. All they doing is making chicken. They just found a way to do it. Somebody just started making chicken. You know the story of Marie Callender's? Do you know what this woman did, man? She worked for a diner, a greasy spoon diner that was going out of business. It was her only job. She was a single mother. It was her only job. She needed that job, but the diner was going to close. So she went to the owner of the diner and said, let me bake one of my pies. People like my pies, and see if I can help you make a little money. He said, whatever, bring it in. She bought one pie in. They sold every slice. The next day, the people came in and asked for the pie. She had to go home and make another pie. The next day, so many people asked for the pie, she had to make 4 pies. Then people started saying, can I buy my own pie? She made so many pies at this store that she eventually saved her money and put a commercial oven in her house. Now, she done made so many pies, the dude's shop, he ain't selling hamburger no more. All he's selling is them damn pies. That's how Marie Callender got started. Marie Callender now has over 120 restaurants. You can't go to no frozen food section without seeing Marie Callender in there. You know what she started with? A pie. One pie. Your gift will make room for you. Now, what is your gift? It's the thing that you do the absolute best with the least amount of effort. That's your gift. Quit running away from the gift. Your gift will make room for you. Stop trying to be something you ain't gifted at. Maybe you here because you need to hear this here. Maybe you here because you need to dust off your dreams. Maybe you need to explore your imagination. Maybe you just need to identify your gift so you quit tripping in your own life, trying to figure out what you can do. Some people are born to be teachers, caregivers, nurses, babysitters. Those are gifts, you know what I mean? If you're living in your gift, you're cool. It's just if you ain't. You do anything else, when that alarm clock go off in the morning, you ain't gonna like it. I would hate to die and never do the thing I was born to do. You should look into that before you mess around and check out of here.
Boy, that was quite powerful. Good morning, everyone coming in. Good morning. It's very important that we live in our gift. And I know some of us probably feel like we have things that we want to do that we're not able to do because of the bills don't stop, the rent don't stop, the car note don't stop. Things that we have to need in life to live each and every day don't stop when you're trying to live in that gift. But like Steve said, if every day you wake up and it's time to go to work and you angry because you're not living in your purpose. You're not doing something that you love to do. When you start to do something that you love to do, then to want to do it would come effortlessly. See, a lot of us, we are afraid to be uncomfortable. And sometimes being uncomfortable is the one thing that we need in life is to be uncomfortable. And understand, in order to get comfortable, you first have to be uncomfortable. So we have to start being more willing to take chances, to take risks. Like you say, even if you fry chicken, just because Popeye's fried chicken, KFC fried chicken, Church's fried chicken, don't mean that you can't fry chicken. Just because your purpose may look like somebody else is doing the thing that you love to do, or they're doing the thing that you would love to do, doesn't mean that you can't do it as well. Yeah, they might be doing the same thing that you dreamed of, but they may not be a better people person than you. They may not be better at customer service than you. They might not know how to sell. They may not know how to talk. So just because you see someone doing something that you always dreamed about doing doesn't mean that you can't do it either. You just have to do it in the way that you want to do it. Make your way of doing the thing that you dream to do unique and put your touch to it. See, but I have 7 steps here to help you understand and start to live in your purpose. See, the first thing we should do when it comes to living in our purpose is understand what life should feels like. We have to understand what our purpose should feel like. We got to start to understand what life should feel like. And it says living on purpose means doing what truly matters to you. We got to do what truly matters to us, you, the individual person who's listening. You can't look at your neighbor and be like, I want to do, my neighbor, like, no. What's for your neighbor is for your neighbor. What's for your brother is for your brother. What's for your sister is for your sister. What's for your mom is for your mom. What's for your children is for your children. But you have to understand what's for you. What's for you? It's like align with your values and beliefs. I can't tell you what that means for you, but you know it when you feel it. And when you don't. So when he say you will know what's for you, when you will know what's for you because you will feel it. You will enjoy doing it. You will be happy about it. You'll look forward to doing it. And when you start to not look forward to getting up, when you start not looking forward to going to a job, when you stop caring about a job, then guess what? That job's not for you. That's something that you're doing something that's not for you. If it's not making you happy, then it's not for you. A lot of us deal with things in life just because we've been doing it for so long. That doesn't make it right. That doesn't make it okay. That doesn't mean it's for you. But it goes back to getting uncomfortable in order to get comfortable. Just because you've been with somebody for 10 years, 15 years, 20 years, but you've been waking up pissed off for the last 10 years, 15 years, 20 years, what are you going to do about that? Only you can change that. Good morning, Courtney. Good morning, Miss Melanie. What's up, lady? Fantasia, Lady Vanna. Okay, that's step one. This is the beginning. This is the start to living in your. This is the start to living in your purpose. The start is to understand what life should feel like. Step two, tap into your calling within. Step two, tap into your calling within. Stop searching outside yourself for answers. There's only one. Be who you were born to be. You can find plenty of exercises online to identify your calling, but you don't need them. Deep within, you already know what makes you feel alive. You just have to pay attention. This is when you have to look into that mirror and say, who is Fantasia? You know what I'm saying? You got to look in that mirror and say, who is Courtney? You know, you got to look into that mirror and say, who is Stephanie? I also have to look in that mirror and say, who is Big Vi? I have to dig down inside and say, what is it about Big Vi that Big Vi love? You know, we have to look into ourselves and see what it is that we love. Because that purpose and that gift is already there. We are born with a gift. We all are born with a gift. I don't want to pronounce your name at the top of the chat, Woulda. We have to understand that this thing called purpose, we all are born with a purpose. Because that's the way God designed it to be. We all was made in a purpose. We were all put on this earth to live for a purpose. We all have a purpose within us. But when you start to see things are not, when you start to become uncomfortable, when you start not being happy, when you start being mad at the world, when you start being mad at your job, guess what? All that is telling you that you're not doing what you were put on this earth to do. You're not loving it. You're not liking it. You don't want to go. You don't want to be around because it's something about it that you're not loving. You're not liking. It's not in your purpose. Stop being afraid to take chances. We have to stop being afraid to take chances because we'll never know if we never look. We'll never know if we never try. We'll never find out if we never look. We have to take chances in life. And when you take that chance from the heart. And if it works out, guess what? It's great. But if it don't work out, you have to understand that you took a chance that you wanted to take and not that you had to take. Creepy T, what's up? T Glenn, what's up? Step 3. Trust yourself and forget what others think. Now, this is an important thing about when it comes to your purpose. When it comes to your purpose, you see what that says? Trust yourself. Not me. Not what others have to think. Not what other people feel you should do. Trust yourself. Trust yourself. You have to always be willing to bet on you at all costs. Always be willing to bet on yourself. Trust yourself and forget what others think. We're naturally intuitive before we learn the rules, but there's no right or wrong way to live. Understand it. There's no right or wrong way to live. That's deep. There's no right or wrong way to live. If you aren't following your intuition, which we all have intuition. You're operating on others' terms. So they saying if you're not following your own mind, You're operating on someone else's terms. You're operating on someone else's terms if you're not following your own mind. And no one can tell you how to be you. Nobody can tell you how to be that person that you see in the mirror when you wake up in the morning. Nobody can tell you how to be you when you're down. Nobody can tell you how to be you when you're happy. Nobody can tell you how to be you when you're stressing. Nobody can tell you how to be you when you're stress free. Nobody can tell you how to be you when you're raising your children. Nobody can tell you how to be you but you. You are in full control of the vessel that you operate. That means you. Fantasia say that's right. You are your biggest supporter and number one fan. Absolutely. Absolutely. It always starts with you. And if you're not willing to bet on yourself and you're not willing to trust yourself, how do you expect someone else to believe in you? How can you expect another person to believe in you if you don't believe in yourself first? One of the number one rules in life, self-preservation. Self, you have to always consider self, because the best version of you is the only thing that can help anything that's attached to you. So if you're not the best version of yourself, you can't help your children. You can't help your family because you don't even know who you are. Okay, let's go to step 4. I hope people is taken from this live this morning, because like I tell you, it ain't the drama don't excite me. I'm not moved by it. I get on this platform that I have. I come on my platform because I want to motivate somebody. I want somebody to leave this platform feeling like I learned something today. I want people to leave this platform feeling like I want to go share some love with somebody today. I'm just going to leave this platform this morning and be energetic. Accept the word. Accept what God has given us, what's coming through me to you all from God. I have to start living in my purpose, just like I'm advising everyone that's listening to me to start living in your purpose. If we all become a happy family, guess what? It's nothing but love out there for each and every one of us. It's something out there for each and every one of us. And the only way we're going to change the world is if we change us first. Let's go to step 4. Step 4 says, feel the fear and take the first step anyways. So guess what? You're going to feel the fear. But what they're saying, when you feel the fear, do not get discouraged. Do not be discouraged just because you feel the fear. That's something that we all have witnessed in our life, right? We all have started to do something, but then we thought about what if it don't work out? You know what I'm saying? And guess what? That's just God's way of testing us. Because if we believe that we can do it, right, we shouldn't be discouraged by the thought of it not working out. You take the chance and deal with the consequences after the fact. I would rather take that chance knowing that it didn't work out, other than not taking a chance and wishing and hoping and thinking that what if it did work out? You get what I'm saying? A lot of us don't take chances, and then we sit back and like, man, I wish I would have done that. Man, I wish I could have done that. Man, I wonder how this would have worked. I wonder how this would have turned out. Even though we know the fear is there, we still have to take that chance anyway. I would rather take that chance and know the results of it, other than not take that chance and wonder what the results could have been. So I say is feel the fear and take the first step anyway. If you don't wake up excited to start your day, Rip off the band-aid. Make a change or start taking action. While maintaining alignments will take practice. You don't have to work forever to get there. It says the unknown is scary. We feel safe and comfortable with how things have always been. Fear is part of us and will always be there, but it can't rule you unless you let it. So take action towards your goal anyway. You don't have to know how or feel ready or worthy. Do you all understand what that said? That second paragraph was very, 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 very. That second paragraph. The unknown is scary. We feel safe and comfortable with how things have always been, right? Content, right? It sounds like content to me, right? We feel safe and comfortable with how things have always been. And what does it mean to be content? So this proves to us when we're living in our purpose, if we're not living in our purpose, then there's no reason for us to be content. If you're not living in your purpose, there's no reason for you to be content about anything that's in your life right now. If it's not in your purpose. Fear is part of us and will always be there. But it can't rule you unless you let it. So fear only takes over when you allow it to. But once you face your fears, guess what? You defeat the enemy. Fear is the enemy of achieving something. So take action towards your goals anyway. You don't have to know how or feel ready or worthy. Fantasia in here this morning, she on it. Fantasia say fear, false evidence appearing real. Is what that means to me. Think about it. Think about it and let it sink in. Then you will get the deeper meaning. False evidence appearing real. That sounds like Fantasia, you might be on to something. You might be on to something, Fantasia. That should be a brand. That should be a brand, Fantasia. T. Glenn, what's up? What's up? What up, huh? That should be a brand, Fantasia. I like that. So we're going to move on to step 5. Very much so an illusion. Exactly. They put fear in as a tactic to control, to prevent. Fear is to prevent. They want to prevent you with fear from being who you really are or achieving what's really there for you. So, step 5, rethink your to-do list. How many of us got goal trackers? How many of us got planners that we sit up and say, I want to do this by this time? How many of us got bucket lists and things like that? So if you done had a bucket list or to-do list for the last 5 years, and when you go back to that board and you look and you ain't did but one thing, you have to ask yourself. What are you doing? If you're not scratching something off your to-do list each and every day, then guess what? You might need to rethink your to-do list. Maybe you need to rethink your to-do list. It say time is precious and you should value how you spend it. If you don't decide what matters in advance, you'll spend it all doing things that aren't moving you forward. So what do y'all remember Damon Dash talk about? I don't waste time on things that stagnate. So when you stagnate in life, what that means, you're not making any progress. Who want to live life without making progress? What's the purpose of living if you're not making progress? What's the purpose of getting up every day, working, doing things if you're not making progress? What's the purpose? Because if you're not making progress, then you're not living in your purpose. Each and every day, something that you do should go towards something that you got in the future. Each and every day, something that you do should be making advancement towards something that you plan for the future. See, check what I said. I didn't say complete, but long as what you're doing goes along with something that you have planned for the future, then you are making progress. But if you sit around and do things that has nothing to do with your to-do list or nothing to do with your future goals, then guess what? You're just wasting a valuable day. And time is precious. Time is not promised to neither one of us. So that means everything that we do each and every day, it should mean something. Do things that are meaningful. Do meaningful things. That's why when you see me come on my platform, I always try to be positive. I always try to be uplifting. I always try to motivate, because guess what? I know one day everything that I'm doing now is going to put me on a bigger platform in the future. It's all about the future. It says, I constantly outline my goals and dreams in a document called Creating the Life I Want. Now, do y'all hear that? So that is another unique way to put things into perspective. When you make this to-do list, give it a name. When you make your to-do list, give it a name. When you give it a name, guess what? It gives you motivation. My dream house, my dream car, my dream job. You know what I'm saying? My dream degree. My dream entrepreneurship. When you put those type of attachments to this to-do list, guess what? It motivates you to want to knock down those steps. You want that new house. Look, I need to go to work. I need to work at least 40 hours a week. I don't need to take vacation. I need to save. Guess what? It's a meaningful to-do list. Manifested. Exactly, Fantasia. This is my dream house. This is my dream car. This is my dream job. I want a big house with a pool in the backyard. I want acres of land. Guess what? Every time you look at that list, that 40 hours you put in last week, you got to match that same 40 hours this week. And every time you come back to that list, guess what? You got to put in another 40 hours. But guess what? But every 40 hours that you putting in, you making progress towards that dream house, that dream car, that dream job, entrepreneurship, that degree, whatever it may be. Give it a name and knock that shit down. Knock it down. You can do it. We all can do it. We got to stop being okay with just the bare minimum. Just like we see rich people, guess what? We got the same opportunity to be rich as well. But we gotta stop being so content. We gotta stop being content and stop being afraid to take chances. Take risks. Just like you get in a car, ride with no seatbelt on, you taking a risk of getting a ticket. Just like you doing 45 in the 30, you taking a risk of getting a ticket. We got to be able to take them same risks when it comes to life. Take them same risks. Shit. That's the whole thing. You gotta, like Fantasia say, stop being scared. Take them chances. You gotta really fight for what you want. If you feel like you deserve a job making $100,000 a year, don't go out here and keep settling for jobs making $30,000, $40,000. Guess what? If you gotta work a job this year making $30,000, your number one thing for this year, for next year, should be finding a job that's gonna be paying you $40,000. And when you get that job making $40,000, guess what? Your number one thing should be the next year. Find that job that's paying you $50,000. Each and every year, you should continue to look forward to making progress. If you keep progressing, guess what? That $100,000 gonna be there in no time. And by the time you get to that $100,000 job, you might be making $150,000. You never know. But we have to stop being content with what we getting and start getting what we deserve. I make sure I set goals for myself, not others. Identify the actions that will get me there and schedule them each week. Didn't I just say that? I make goals. I make sure I set those goals for myself. So each and every one of us, in order to live in our purpose, we have to set goals for ourselves, not others. I can't sit here and say, well, I need to make a goal for 700 and my girl need to bring in another 700. No. If the rent is, if the goal is to save 1,400, I need to be saving 1,400. And if my girl bring in 700, then guess what? That's a bonus. We can't depend on others. So when you setting your goals in life, you have to set your goals according to you, not what the next person can do, not what you think they should do, not what they told you they want to do. You have to set those goals according to you. So even if that other person stop pouring in, guess what? You still know you have yourself to lean on. You have yourself to depend on. Okay, we on 5. We got 2 more to go. Let's move on to 6. Check in with yourself daily. Check in with yourself daily. That means checking your list, checking your to-do list. See what type of progress you done made. Before you get out of bed in the morning, ask yourself, what is important today? What would make you sleep well tonight? Most of the things we do all day disconnect us from ourselves. So practice tuning in. Just sit or journal whatever needs to come out for 15 minutes. Let's go and ignore the outside world. Say, let go and ignore the outside world. Even if you have to start by just noticing the world you created for yourself. The world you create for yourself. So that means you gotta, pretty much is what it's saying, you gotta create tunnel vision. When you're living in your purpose, when you're trying to live in your purpose and you're trying to work to that moment or work up to that level of living in your purpose, you have to create a tunnel vision to where you don't see nothing that's going on in this world except the dream or the life that you have created for yourself. You can't be distracted by the nonsense that we see, especially when it comes to these YouTube streets. You can't get caught up in the hype. You can't get caught up in the BS. You have to continue to do what you set out to do. Because guess what? When you start to making progress in life, when you start achieving things in life, guess what? The devil's going to come. He going to want to play in your playground. He going to tempt you. And guess what? He even gives you gifts. He gonna try to bribe you. The devil gonna try to hypnotize you. The devil gonna try to persuade you. Guess what? It's all up to you, the individual, to understand what's in your sight, what's in your dream, what's in your to-do list, what's in the life that you created for yourself. When you create this life that you want for yourself, you have to block all the outside noise out. Even if that means cutting off some of them friends, cutting off some of them homeboys, cutting off family members, cutting off baby daddy, baby mama, whoever. When you're trying to create a life for yourself, you don't have to make sacrifices. You're going to have to cut people off. They may go, oh, she acting funny. Oh, he acting funny. Oh, he acting stuck up. Oh, this, that. They going to talk about you like a dog, but guess what? They don't have your vision. They're not, if they're not producing, or they're not investing in the life that you are trying to create for yourself, then guess what? It's not meant for them to be with you. You know, on this road to a better life, man, you're going to lose a lot of friends. But guess what? You're going to gain new ones. You're going to lose family. But guess what? You're going to gain a new family. This is what it's about. You have to separate. You have to be willing to separate yourself from the things that once made you comfortable. And people that's for you, guess what? They're going to be there for you. But the ones the ones that didn't really mean you no good, guess what? Them the ones who gonna leave right at the first sight of darkness. They gonna be gone. A lot of people say they for you. A lot of people say, oh, I'm down with you. A lot of people say, I got you back. A lot of people say, holler if you need me. But how many of them people actually come through when you needed them? But then once you start living in your purpose, you no longer paying any of that shit attention, when you no longer looking that way, when you no longer thinking about those people, then guess what? They talking about you. Oh, you think you too much. Oh, he just called and asked me, can he borrow $5? Oh, he just did this. Oh, his car got repo. Oh, he got put out. But hey, it's life, man. This is what people do. So that's why you can't worry about people outside of yourself. Everything that you do, it has to be about you. When you're trying to find your purpose in life, your purpose is only determined by you. Not by no one on the YouTube platform, not by no one at your job, not no one at your children's school, not no one in your household. Your purpose is only created by yourself and God. We all have a purpose in life, but it's only up to you, the individual, to figure out what that purpose is. If you wake up in the morning pissed off, hitting the alarm clock 4-5 times, don't want to get up, don't want to get out of bed, don't feel like driving to work, then guess what? You're not living in your purpose. That's why you feel that way. You're no longer excited. You're no longer entertained. You're no longer energized. Your job is draining you. It has become a demonic spirit at this point because you're no longer happy there. So it drains all the positivity out of you. How long you think you're going to be able to wear that fake smile around your job? Eventually, somebody going to say something to piss you off. Find out what that purpose is and start to live in it. Let's go to number 7. Recognize that you have everything you need. This may be uncomfortable at first, and it will still feel like work sometimes. But when you're working towards the right thing, it's worth it. You can either choose to deny yourself or say yes to your heart and soul, but you choose what you get in life. You choose what you get in life. I can't choose it for you. Can't nobody else choose this for you. You choose what you want out of life. Not me, not people around you. You choose what you want out of life. Do the work today to create the tomorrow of your dream. Do the work today to create do the work today to create the tomorrow of your dream. So it goes back to saying each and every day you wake up, you should be doing something working towards your purpose. You should be working towards your purpose each and every day until you get to that point to where you feel like you're living in your purpose. And once you start to live in your purpose, then guess what? You're going to be happy every day. You're going to be rejoicing. You're going to be having the things you want to have. You're going to be changing other people's lives. You're going to be telling your story. You're going to be telling people how good God is. You're going to be telling people what God has bought you from. Your story is going to motivate somebody else to start wanting to live in their purpose. Your story is going to be what's going to start to make other people live in their purpose. They're going to make them want to find out. See, a lot of people don't want to find out what it is to live in their purpose because they haven't heard the success from somebody that they know. They haven't heard it from somebody that's close to them. You know what I'm saying? When people know you and they see you, well, you stop hanging out. You stop coming around. You stop doing this. You stop doing it. And when you come back around, guess what? You have started to live in your purpose, and you just got a glow about yourself that they can't understand. Girl, why you smiling so much? Why you look so happy? Your energy is just, I feel the energy coming from you because now you're living in your purpose, and guess what? You're excited, you're happy, you enthused. Now you're telling everybody about how God changed your life. How you had to go through these deep moments in life to figure out what it is that you wanted, what God intended for you to do with your life. Like you say, just because somebody may be living a dream, maybe living the life that you want to live, doesn't mean that you can't also live that life as well. It's your purpose. And your purpose may look like someone else's purpose, but you have a unique way about you that's different from everybody. Because guess what? God designed us different from each and every person. None of us have the same purpose in life. What's up, EJ? None of us have the same purpose in life. And I'm telling y'all, when you start to live in your purpose, people are going to look at you like you're crazy. Kanye West, for an example. When you start to live in your purpose, people are going to look at you like you're crazy. They're going to say you're crazy. But when you're not no longer bound by those things that once was holding you down, and you realize everything that you had been doing was only for the betterment of others, then you say, you know what? I want to better me. I want to live in my purpose. I want to do what God designed for me to do. And once you started doing what God designed for you, to do, and guess what? The devil comes around and try to make you look like a fool. The devil wants you to look like a fool. The devil want to tell everybody you're crazy. The devil want to tell everybody you're losing your mind. You're not losing your mind. You just starting to live in your purpose. You woke up. You seen that the things that you was doing wasn't conducive to what you were trying to do in your life. So you say, you know what? I no longer want to do I no longer want to do those things anymore. I want to do what's for me. And this is what's going to happen to a lot of us. When we start doing what's for us, a lot of people going to look at us like we're crazy. A lot of people not going to understand us. A lot of people going to call us stupid because you're going to start to live and do things that you feel like that's best for you. And what's best for you is going to be best for your purpose. Never let someone else determine what your purpose is. Only you know what your purpose is. And God put a purpose inside of each and every one of us. God put a purpose inside of each and every one of us. And if we ain't figured out what that purpose is yet, I challenge each and every one of us to start to dig deep and try to figure out what it is. Ask yourself. Some people purpose might be caregiving. Somebody's purpose might be hairdresser. Somebody's purpose may be a salesman. Your purpose may be a chef. Your purpose may be a spokesperson. Your purpose may be a motivational speaker. But whatever your purpose is, you have to start to live in that purpose. And guess what? Understand that people are going to look at you like you're crazy because they're not going to understand the transformation going on within your life. But you have to be willing to change for yourself, not for everybody else. You got to stop. You can't think about what everybody else thinks. You can't worry about what nobody else had to say because you're doing what you want to do. And that's what's going to make you happy. That's what's going to make other people around you happy. Because a happy you, that means you can go out and motivate others to be happy. But if you ain't doing that, then guess what? You wasting time. And time is not promised to none of us. God ain't told neither one of us living on this earth what our expiration date is. We know what our birthday is, though. So what did it tell you? What do that tell you? You don't have time to waste. We all born with a birthday, no expiration date, though. So guess what? You running against the clock. You don't know when that clock is going to expire. So if you done wasted all this time doing nothing, then guess what? I can't tell you how much time you have left. But with the time that you do have, you might want to start figuring out what your purpose is. Because your purpose just might be going down there saving homeless people. You know what I'm saying? Your purpose might be going to speak to these women at these battered women's shelters. You know what I'm saying? Your purpose might be going to feed people less fortunate. We don't know. We don't know what our purpose may be. But you will find out and you will know what your purpose is once you start doing the things that make you happy without any effort. The things that make you happy without making any effort to do it. That's your purpose. Whatever you do effortlessly is your purpose. Whatever makes you happy, just the thought of it, could be your purpose. Don't let these jobs tie y'all down. Don't be bound by these jobs. But use these jobs to help you propel into your purpose. Just like they use us to make sales, just like they use us to push their products, we need to start using them to propel us to live in our purpose. So we can say we no longer need this job. I'm walking on faith right now. I'm putting my life in God's hand. I'm going to start living in my purpose.
Your gift is very simple to know. You don't have to go anywhere to discover it. It's if the truth be told, we were being totally honest. Most of us don't like waiting. Particularly if we're waiting for something to change or something to get better. Waiting can be a very frustrating experience. But the worst kind of waiting of all is waiting on God. When God forces you to wait for things to get better in your life, for things to improve, to change, to reverse, and nothing is happening. And yet, and over again in the Bible, we're told to wait on the Lord.
The most difficult place for you to be in life is in God's waiting room. In God's waiting room. Some of you are in God's waiting room right now. What is God's waiting room? When you're in a hurry for something to happen and God isn't. That's God's waiting room. Some of you are in a hurry to graduate. Some of you are in a hurry to get married. Some of you are in a hurry to start a family. Some of you are in a hurry to launch a new business, to close a big deal. Some of you are in a hurry for a big goal, a big dream, a big accomplishment. Some of you are in a hurry for all kinds of different things, and God isn't.
And one reason we get in a hurry is we think we're falling behind. Our friend is getting married. Our coworker got promoted. The neighbors moved into a new house. We got to make things happen. We're being left out. Well, here's the key. What has your name on it will not go to anyone else.
We don't like to trust somebody else's timing. Why? Because we lose control. And so we, rather than trust God, because trusting God means, my goodness, I actually have to trust God. We'd rather, listen, I like the purpose you have for my life, but can we do it my way? And here's the funny thing. Now that I'm a parent, I recognize in my children that they don't like it to wait on my timing. They don't like to wait. They don't like to chill and be patient. But the thing is, if they would just trust my timing, they would recognize it's for their good. It's for them to be blessed and prosperous. And so you can live life frustrated, anxious, stressed out, angry, or you can rest and go, God, I have to trust in your timing.
Another thing you have to learn in life is that a delay is not a denial. There's a big difference between no and not yet. Now, immature children don't know the difference. You tell a kid, not yet, they start crying and having a hissy fit because they think it means no. They don't understand a delay is not a denial.
We all have things that we're waiting for, problem to turn around. When it's taking longer than we thought, it's easy to get discouraged, to become impatient. But sometimes it's not happening because we're not prepared for what God has prepared. You need more time to grow, to develop, to gain experience. Patience is developed in the wait room. Before you see what God promised, God will send you to the wait room. You may not like it. Other people are in the game, making progress. You're stuck waiting. You may not see anything changing, but something is happening. Patience is working. You're growing, developing, getting you prepared so you can sustain what God has coming. Don't get discouraged because it's not happening as fast as you would like. When He knows you're ready, what you give birth to is going to be much bigger than you've imagined. Maybe you've been praying, being your best, but you don't see anything changing. Have a new perspective. You're in the wait room. You're not falling behind. God has you right where He wants you. Now do your part and wait with a good attitude. Thank you that what you promised is on the way. If you will wait with the right attitude, after patience has done its work, you're going to see promises come to pass.
Don't allow a moment of agony to make you draw a conclusion about life prematurely. Because if you just keep on walking with God, God has a way of making everything all right. But He warns us that the steps of a good man are ordered by the Lord. Now, the term steps implies process. Means it's going to take a while. Because a blessing given too soon is not a blessing at all. I could give my son the car keys now, but had I given it to him when he was 5, it would not have been a blessing at all. He can't handle it. So would I be a good father if I gave him a good thing too soon? Sometimes my goodness is proven by my ability to say not yet.
You see, while you're working on your project, your goal, your dream, your vision, God's working on you. And God's much more interested in you than in what you're trying to accomplish. Because you're not taking your accomplishments to heaven, but you are taking your character. And sometimes God says, yeah, I intend to give you what I promised you. I intend to answer that prayer. I intend to fulfill the vision, but you're not ready yet. I want you to grow, and when you're ready, then it's going to happen.
And I'll admit, I don't like to wait. I like to make.
And see why you just heard why it's important to start living in your purpose, because God is waiting on you to start living in your purpose for him to start to do his part. So this is why it's so important that we learn, that we start to live in our purpose. We all probably have wasted enough time doing this, doing that, trying this, trying that. But guess what? Let's start doing what it is that we want to do and what makes us happy. What really fulfills joy to us. Because guess what? When we show up to these jobs, we making the boss happy. We making the company happy. We making the CEO happy. When we showing up to these jobs, guess what? I'm not telling no one you should not work your job, but what I'm telling you is you should use your job to work towards your purpose. And once you start to live in your purpose, then you go allow God to take control from there on out. We all have to get up and go to work because we all have things that we have accumulated, here on this earth that we're living in. But guess what? That doesn't mean that we can't live in our purpose. Just like these jobs use our service, we can start using this job to align ourselves with our purpose. It's very important that we start to live in our purpose. And until you start to live in your purpose, it seems as if we're just going to be in God's waiting room waiting to be served. And I don't know how many of us willing to continue to sit in God's waiting room, because I know I'm not.
Progress. I like to get things done. And I've learned some things take time. So much is developed in the process. When you're doing the right thing, but nothing's changing. Remember, something is happening. You're growing. You may not like it, but you can't bypass the process. David said, God, my times are in your hands. I not only trust your ways, but I trust your timing. When I'm ready, when I can handle it, you will take me to new levels of my destiny. Something may have your name on it. You know God has put it in your heart. But if it happens too soon, the blessing will become a burden. Sometimes God proves his love to us by what he's not letting us have. We just have to spend more time in the weight room, growing, learning to trust God, learning to keep a good attitude when things aren't going our way. The sooner we pass these tests, the sooner God will release what belongs to us.
You can never lose faith. When you don't see no way how, you have to buckle down and keep believing. God is always coming. The moment you ask God for something, he boxes it up and he ships it to you. It's going to come. He just don't tell you when. But he don't tell you when the package is going to arrive. So here's the deal. He wants you to stay in faith to receive the package. because he only delivers to Faith Street. That's how it works, man. Let me tell y'all something. Being successful is not a magic trick. You just have to learn the principles of success. I am telling you, your education ain't got nothing to do with it. Now, when you go asking for it, and are you going to wait for it to happen? Or are you going to lose faith? Well, I guess it wasn't the Lord's will. How do you know what God's will is? It all happens at an appointed time, but you have to stay in faith for the appointed time to happen for you.
God, I want to deliver to Faith Street. Boy, ain't that something? Ain't that something? Ain't that something? God only deliver to Faith Street. How many of us willing to wait? How many of us have faith? Oh, yeah. Hey, look, I thank each and every one of y'all for coming over here this morning. I hope this morning live was very helpful and very inspiring to someone. Like I say, man, it's all about positivity over here. It's all about the love, and it's all about motivating each and every one of us as individuals to level up in life. You know, let's stop stagnating. Let's stop being content and start going after what's for us. You know, because there is something out there for each and every one of us. You know, and with that being said, 5 rules to living a happier life. Rule number 1, love yourself. Rule number 2, do good by others. Rule number 3, harm no one. Rule number 4, be positive. Rule number 5, always forgive, never forget. With that being said, love yourself a little bit more today than you did yesterday. We out of here. Big Vibe Opinion, man. Y'all be blessed.
The devil doesn't want you to become what God has spoken over your life. But you cannot afford to be afraid, because fear is the enemy of your faith. I've come this morning to speak to your possibility. You are royal, you are chosen, you are God's people, and you are anointed to finish. The Bible says that he that beginneth the good work shall complete it. Somebody repeat after me. God finishes what he starts. The devil doesn't want you to become what God has spoken over your life. But you cannot afford to be afraid, because fear is the enemy of your faith. I've come this morning to speak to your possibility. You are royal, you are chosen, you are God's people, and you are anointed to finish. The Bible says that he that beginneth the good work shall complete it. Somebody repeat after me. God finishes what he starts.
God finishes what he starts. So whatever you ask God for, he's already wrapped it up and packaged it. You know, he's already sent it. But guess what? God only delivered to Faith Street. Amen. Y'all have a blessed day.